Okay, I think I am here. I think everything is good. It seems like the audio is good. Hopefully. Looks like Paul is in the chat to, I don't know, give me some support, right? So, really, he got his copy of Legacy U earlier this week. I got mine toward the end of the week. Had a busy weekend. And so I really have been wanting to play it and thought, you know what? Why not play it for a stream? So I'm going to do just that. I actually haven't even opened it or anything. Got it all in the package here. According to Paul, it's very easy to set up, so hopefully this will not be you guys watching me punch out stuff for 30 minutes, because according to him it was nice and smooth, and I didn't do it ahead of time, mostly because I've had a really busy day today. But yeah, so I am excited. Yeah, trying a different color here. Mostly because, you and I normally use the chocolate color, and it wasn't looking right. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. So here we are. All right. Okay, look at that. One punch board. Looks like we got what is that? 23 things. Storybook. Chris, yeah, thanks for joining. Hopefully I don't embarrass myself. I have played this several times on Tabletop Simulator, and I don't think I'm all that bad, and I know the rules, so yeah, hopefully everything goes pretty dang smooth here. So, I meant to start this way sooner today, but just had a busy day. It was my daughter's first birthday today, which is a great thing. But yeah, so because of that, we went to the zoo, and honestly, just kind of had a whirlwind of the day. It went super quick. Ooh, that's not what I want to do. Let's see. Let's do there. You guys should be able to see as I set it up there. But yeah, so yeah, got this to a late start. There we go. So yeah, it should be all right. As I said, I know how to play, so it shouldn't take too long. Hopefully, although everybody knows I'm a slow player. Oh, I need to put the cards out. But yeah, so just busy day, busy weekend. I actually got this in, and when I bought this on Kickstarter, I bought Raiders of Scythia, Hadrian's Wall, got all the promos because I'm a sucker for that. So yeah, I played Hadrian's Wall yesterday. Game is good. First time I had played it, I was kind of expecting, well, a simple roll and write. We went into it pretty blind, and so we didn't know that it was going to be as meaty as it was. And so it kind of came like at the end of a long day where we had just gamed all day long, played some pretty heavy games. And so that's the story. Yeah, so we played it, and I didn't think it was bad then, but my brain was already fried going into it, and so I just didn't get a good feel for the game. So I'd been like, oh, I want to play it again, and whenever I back this, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to commit. I had figured that I was most likely going to play Hadrian's Wall. I assume these are all the whole story deck, so I'm just going to throw that thing there. But yeah, so I knew I was going to play it mostly solo. They actually, Bobby Hill and Shim came out with a solo campaign that they posted on BGG. It was like an official campaign. And so they... sorry, talking and putting all this up. I can't think. They post on BGG, and so now actually with the kind of newest printings of it, they just actually included in the rules. So I think that's pretty cool. Okay, let's see. I believe I'm just going to shuffle these bad boys up. something like that. And also, I don't know if y'all can tell, but this organizer, super sweet. I'll switch it over for a second. Yeah, this organizer tells exactly where to go, put all the cards, has little, icons for that. Just really, really a cool touch. And Paul, appreciate you being in chat. You know as well as I do that when I can play a game like this, I can really start to sit quietly and think. So hopefully you'll keep things lively for me. Shuffle the victory and defeat cards. Defeat. Hopefully not worrying about too many of the defeat cards, but you never know. So if you, Chris, I don't know if you know anything about Legacy of You. I hope you do. But it is, of course, a solo-only game. And so it's played, not necessarily 7 games, but either the campaign is, it stops once you either have 7 defeats or 7 wins. And so I know that it's somewhat self-balancing in that, like, every time you win, something harder happens for future games, and then every time you lose, something easier, or I don't know exactly how it works, but easier things happen. Barbarian cards. History and townsfolk cards. Alright. So, the only thing I don't remember off the top of my head is how many start my townsfolk deck. I think it's 10. Yep, 10. Call your playthrough. Excited to see how this one goes. Yes, I also caught Paul's playthrough. I hope to play better than him. I'm sure he also hopes that I play better than him. He's also probably laughing, but really mad that I said that. You know what? I mean, you don't know how this deck is. I'm going to give it a full good shuffle real quick, actually. I won the second game I played after I talked to Devin about some strategy. Yeah, so I played quite a bit on Tabletop Simulator. Of course, that does not have the story, but I just really like the game. And so I hope to not lose. But you never know. I very well could. Okay, we need, what do we got? 5, 5, 5, 5, 3, 3. Okay. Now they put these in defeat canals, so throw those in there. So I'm just gonna lay 2 of those out. Looks like there's only 2 of these. And just do that. Throw these guys there, and alright, got some story elements. That's what we like to see. Got a ton of story elements. Maybe I will lose. Who knows? I don't know anything about the story here, but it looks like as I build across the canal there, I'm going to be seeing some of the story. So I know story. You guys going to do a live stream a lot. I like catching live videos a lot. We're going to try and work it in. Of course, we're both dads, which means we have families and kids, and it's very hard to set up an actual schedule and stick with it. Yeah, like Paul's saying, the consistency part is hard. But we definitely also enjoy doing it live, right? It's fun to communicate with you guys, get some feedback, people to laugh at us whenever we play bad. Yeah, so... But anyway, so I'm going to, hopefully you saw it, give the big old spoiler warning. I'm going to be going through the storybook. I'm going to be reading it all. Probably good you choose this one. This is probably a lot easier to do solo. Yeah, exactly. And, we might do some more solo streams just because we don't have to get together, right? Finding time for both of us to get together is typically the hardest part. We don't know. We do what, I'm glad to hear that you like it, but kind of just are trying to do what people want to see, so glad you want to see that. But yeah, like I said, so every time I come across these little turtle guys, it's going to be a story element, so it looks like I got 4 right away on the canal. I know that some of the, speaking of barbarians, I need to get one out, some of the barbarians can have story elements. Don't believe the townsfolk can, but could be wrong there. And then some of the, I think these are huts. I can't remember the exact name. It's like farm, hut, and other building. Okay, so I'll do a very fast rundown of Legacy of You, since Chris, you haven't said you've seen it, and anybody watching this after the fact. Legacy of You is a solo campaign game. So I'll start kind of in this area here. Every round you are going to get, this is your income for the round, right? And so I have this is my base income starting, but as I build things, I will get more income. And the object of the game is going to be to build all 6 stages of the canal and survive that last round. So this is up here, the cost to build the canals. Of course, it gets increasingly harder, and you want to do that before the game beats you. There are 3 possible ways you can lose the game. The first is the flood catching you. So every time you need to shuffle your deck, the flood advances 1 space. If it ever catches your barge, you lose. The second is we have these barbarians. We have townsfolk and then barbarians. We start with 1 barbarian. If there are ever 7 barbarians, 1 in each space, you automatically lose the game. And then the last way is you will be taking damage throughout the game. Every time you build on the canal, you typically have to lose a card. Barbarians will cause you to lose a card. Just various things. If you ever no longer have a deck, that is losing from damage, and so that is the third way to lose game. So 1 way to win, 3 ways to lose. But yeah, so you're going to be gathering. It's really kind of a resource management game. You have workers. You got white workers, which are, I should know the names of these laborers. Yeah, and so the laborers, and let me switch this as I explain it all. There we go. So yeah, you've got white workers. Those are your laborers. They're kind of the ones mostly used for the canals, for building stuff. And then you have 4 different types of workers that are your warriors, if not. Your red are your fighters, your black are riders, blue are spearmen, yellow are archers. And really, they specialize in killing barbarians. Each barbarian will take 3 different workers of some type. So this needs 2 fighters and a rider. And that's kind of your way of holding off the barbarians as you try and build the canal. And yeah, that's really it. I think it'd be really just best if I just kind of get into it. I think you're doing... Yeah, so, all right, I'm going to get into it. So I am going to... Let me see. Actually, I might move some camera stuff around. I'm going to put myself up here, because I assume y'all don't want to see all of my lovely face, and I'm going to push some stuff up so that I can lay resources and whatnot below and you guys see it. Yeah, that should be good. Paul will always shout at me if it's not. Yeah, and so I first get 4 cards. I'm going to play my hand very open so y'all can see it. So we get 4 cards. I get a laborer. I get a shell. Technically it's a cowrie shell, but I'm not going to say that a million times throughout the game. And I get a provision. And that is all I get to start off this game. So, things you can do. With each of your cards, you can just play the card to get what is in the brown banner here. So in this case, I would get an archer. And I could just play that. I could get an archer. You can also completely dismiss the card to get both. So if you really are desperate for whatever this is, provision or whatnot, you can dismiss the card, throwing it out of your deck, and you get both resources there. And then one other thing you can do is, let's put that there. You can tuck a card under available spaces. So I have one available space right now, and I could tuck this in, and then that is more income that I get at the start of each round. So that's kind of where I'm at in thinking. I personally don't like to right away tuck cards that give a specific type of fighter or warrior. Just because you never know, like I could do the black because I know I'm going to need a black at some point, right? But I could not need another black for a while, and it could kind of put me into a tough spot. I don't really know. I always like getting more shells for an income, so I might do that. The other option I'm thinking of is I hold off and wait, and maybe I get something like some wood or some brick. I always like that. However, I'm always desperate for provisions too. So, with that said, some other actions I have available to me at any point in time. I can spend 3 shells to get a brick and a wood, and those resources are going to typically be used to build your various building types. So I think I'm going to tuck this one here, right? It is powerful when you need it to get a bunch of provisions, but I think I'm just going to get the provision income. So won't do anything for me now, but it will on my income give provision and a shell. I'm going to then I think just play. Yeah, I'm just going to really just play all 3 of these. So I'm going to get an archer. I'm going to get a brick. I'm going to get a wood. And resources are all limited. So you can kind of see the tray here. That's it. So if you ever needed more, well, you probably managed wrong. Dice thrown is pretty costly and hard to find than we expected. Yeah, we are wanting to get into that for sure. Yeah, I'm going to do that with those. Now, the other thing I can do is I have these townsfolk available to me to do one of 2 things. The first is I can just straight up recruit them. And the first one costs no provisions, so that can just go straight into my discard pile. But I also could dismiss it to get that. And although dismissing for the wood could be good, because I know I'm going to get some wood and some brick here. Which would then possibly let me build right here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the provision to just bring this into my deck. And then I'm going to go right here. And I'm going to get another provision, and I'm going to immediately spend it to put this one into my deck as well. And I think that is it. So any workers you have, I put a worker here. Any worker of any color can go in this space here, and you just get what is below it. And every time you build one of these huts, you will unlock a new space to use. You know what? No, I'm sorry. I want to use... I'm going to use the yellow to do that because I am going to go ahead and spend a white, a brick, and a wood. And I will unlock the white worker space. Yeah, for sure. And so I can build that and get a provision. And so you have access to these various building spaces. Every time you build on the canal, you will get access to more building spaces. And yeah, I think I'm going to do that to keep getting that income of white workers. Yeah, I like that. We'll see how that goes. So that's it for my turn. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need to suffer a tax. Ooh, I didn't think this through. Let me think 1 second. Maybe. Do I want to? No, you know what? I'm gonna take the attack against the discarding. So I will burn a card here, and then I move all these townsfolk to the left. I have to add in 1 barbarian to the row right there, and then I just fill rest the row with townsfolk. Okay, man, a lot of townsfolk out there that have different types of workers. Okay, so on to second round here. I'm gonna draw 4 cards. 3 and 4. And now I will get 2 white workers. 2 cowrie shells. Provision. Oh, 2 provisions. Okay. And I return my archer. Okay. I could defeat this barbarian. And so I know that I have to build on the canal this turn. I have no option on it. I am going to have to shuffle my deck. So I'm just going to do that right away. And I move this over. You can only build on the canal once a turn. So I spent my stuff, and it looks like I'm going to get a brick, a wood, and read storybook number 3. So if you missed my warning at the beginning, this is where I am going to say that. Let me just fix that. This is where I'm going to say that. Make the full frame. Yeah, this is where I'm going to say that I'm getting into the spoilers. So I am just going to start reading here. This is a long spoiler. Disaster. The new canal to the east of our camp was nearing completion. Storms have been assailing us like the horrible breath of a dragon, forever slowing our progress. The men have become weary. I have been focusing on completing this work with such intent that I allowed carelessness to creep in. A short break in the torrent provided us only a moment to proceed. While I was overseeing the last reinforcement on the canal, I received word from the camp that a fire had broken out and part of the camp was ablaze. With so many hands away at the canal, the fire raged like a beast, and despite valiant effort from those still close by, a scorched mess is all that remains of our food store and tents surrounding it. Food will be scarce now. We had been forging heavily to feed the workers and keep everyone strong. A concentrated and extended effort will need to be made to restore what was lost. A fool may take some solace in the stories coming from the camp that this was the work of... I knew there would have to be something I'm going to struggle to pronounce. Wuziki, the monkey demon of the river. I think I will put my energy into figuring out how to restore our food supply other than chasing spirits. The burden of this oversight will hang over me for a long time, not unlike the storm clouds that now gather once again. At least the canal is done. File the completed canal card in the box under history. So that is the first one. Bam. Find card 16. There it is. 16. and place it alongside the board with the side shown below face up. This is a food storage card, shortage card. So I'm going to place it here. Okay. In addition to the standard rules of winning game, you will also need to fulfill the requirements of this card. You cannot claim a victory if it remains unfulfilled. If you are defeated, the food shortage card will be added to your next game during setup in the same manner. It will remain in all future games until you fulfill it. In order to fill the food storage card, you must place 3 townsfolk cards from your hand onto the food shortage card in sequence shown. So 1, 2, 3. To be clear, the first townsfolk must feature milk, fish, then meat. After placing the third, we'll do Storybook 13. You gain no other benefits from placing townsfolk here other than progressing towards fulfilling the food shortage card. Townsfolk cards placed onto the food shortage card are locked there until it's fulfilled. You cannot optionally pick them up later. If you are defeated, any townsfolk still on the food shortage card are returned to townsfolk deck for future games. Okay, so looks like just something else to do here. So I guess not too bad. Normally you would have to trash a card out of your deck. I've turned the volume down. I haven't seen this card. Oh, yeah. So I normally would have had to destroy a card when building on the canal. This I don't. However, it's essentially like destroying 3 cards because I'm going to lock up 3 cards there. So, okay. What are we going to do? So again, I could defeat... Man, I could defeat this guy, which gives me a white worker and a cowrie shell. I know for sure I'm going to use this to get a provision and a shell. I'm torn. I'm torn because I could do that and it would allow me to build another building. And just get more workers. Although I typically like to build here. Let's think on this. If I could tuck this. You know what? I think I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna take the one. I think it's Rider, and these are fighters from each of them. Man, I just hate spending 3 provisions to go way up there, but I think I'm going to. Because I don't really want to pay the bribe of the yellow card, or the yellow archer. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to defeat this barbarian. Just set it off to the side there. And I'm going to get my shell and my white worker. Alright, and so I know I'm going to go here to get a provision. Now I have really 2, you know what, hang on. I'm not going to get the provision there. I might do this differently. I kind of have 2 choices. I like to build up my deck quite a bit, which speaking of, I know this is going to come into my deck. Or is it? You know what? What if I dismiss this? Buy a brick and build here. very similar. I mean, I needed all those. Yeah, as much as I would have wanted to tuck this, I had to have it. So, you know what? It's not the normal way I would play. But it's also like getting this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. So I'm going to actually dismiss this. Get a brick. Then I'm going to spend 3 shells for a brick. And then I'm going to build this hut. Here, put a shell back. Build this hut. Which lets me draw a card. That is interesting. And let's go put that over there. Okay. I'm going to get this to get... let's just do a red worker. You know what? Hang on. My deck had a decent amount of red workers. I have no blue workers. I've got 1 yellow. I could recruit this for a blue. Blue's going to be my pain point. So I'm going to take another yellow. Then I'll use that yellow to get a provision. And then I'm torn here. I think if I tuck this card... If I tuck this card, I'm going to be getting almost too many provisions, but maybe that's not the case. Let's look. I could tuck. So I got a brick. I got a wood generator. I'd be gaining essentially 4 provisions a turn, which is not bad. And then shells. Let's do it, because I don't really have use for the brick right now. And odds are I'm not going to build another hut immediately. Just don't really need extra brick. So yeah, let's do that. We're going to tuck that. And then... we're just going to use both provisions to put both these guys into the deck. I think that is good there. So, don't have the wood to sacrifice, but that will be quite all right. So let me do this in order. I'm going to return the barge. I'm going to suffer attacks. So this is where I will have to shuffle, moving the flood marker there. I got 12 cards in my deck, so if I cannot draw extra or suffer attacks, I got 3 rounds. But I at least have 2 guaranteed before I really need to do too much. Oh no, I take that back. I'm suffering attack right now, so I only have 2. Okay, so then refresh throw, move this, put in a barbarian. Let's get the rest of these townsfolk. Okay, let's get my income. So I am getting my 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. I say I didn't need the brick, and yet there is what it is, but I would have possibly been able to build that. So I'm going to get my 2 laborers. I'm going to get... oh, no. Laborers from there. My 3 cowrie shells. 3. And 3 provisions. So the nice thing is I'm definitely not going to have to buy as many provisions as I normally would. The downside is I know that I typically buy a good amount of... these should have been right there. I typically know I normally buy a good amount of provisions, and I do decently well. So we'll see. I'm gonna have to do this, but I'm not gonna. I don't think worry about it too much now. I mean, I could stick this milk worker up there, but I don't think I want to be thinning out my deck yet. I think provisions are good to have tucked. You won't have to trade shells for them later, and can you? Yeah, so I kind of think that same thing. A lot of times I like one of my first two tucks to be either wood or brick, just kind of the way the hand falls, and then it like kind of guides me into which of these routes that I build. But yeah, I don't think this will be too bad. All right, so let me think about what I want to do this round. I don't necessarily know if I want to. Build that yet. Because I could defeat this guy. And then maybe, I don't know, it's thinking whether I stall. So if I build this turn, I could easily bribe this, which is fine, but I don't have a white worker to then immediately build. That's kind of my hesitation there. I would like to be able to just kind of immediately build onto that space. What I'm thinking is I'll probably build this here. Because when I do that, I will have the resources to do it. So I think I'm going to do this. This will let me bribe, which is totally fine. Not sacrifice any more cards. And I'd really be coming up. Yeah, let's do it. I would come out ahead a couple workers. Get 4 cards behind, but yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a black and a yellow. And I do know that I believe is my only black and my yellow in the deck. Of course, the blue one I recruited, I immediately discarded, so I don't have any blue coming up, so I'm pretty sure I only have red workers coming up, red and white. So I don't think I'm going to take a red worker. I think I'm actually going to take... I'm going to just gamble on needing the blue at some point. Right now we use that blue to get a provision. And then I'm going to just take a wood and a brick, and that'll be my bribes. And so we're going to take this into the deck. How do I want to do this? Do I want to take all 3? I'm definitely going to take these guys. So I could save this to be able to defeat this whenever it only costs 2 provisions. Honestly, I think I'm going to just take a card in my deck. Because I'm decent on cowrie shells, and I'm going to get an income of 3. I'll have to spend 2. But defeating will get me some to where I'll be able to build as well. So, yeah, I am going to just go ahead and take... this one is objectively better since I'm already gaining a bunch of provisions. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. We're just going to have kind of a build-up round for sure. So, I'm going to take my attacks, and I'm going to... I didn't mention them, but what I was talking about is you either take the attack or you bribe. And you make a decision for each one. So, for these guys, I'm bribing. I am going to refill the row here. Okay. My gamble on taking a blue was wrong. That's all right. And then let's refresh these guys. And draw 4. 3 and 4. So I got 3 left. It's kind of a terrible spot to be at. Really wish there was 4 left, but what can you do? So drawing my 4 cards. There's the red worker I was banking on getting in my hands. And a couple of wood. Looks like I might be building out here. So let's get my workers, my 2 laborers. I'll bring these guys back. 2 laborers, 3 shells. 1, 2, 3. And really, I almost should have spent those. Yeah, not now, but I probably should have spent those if I did the math right to recruit this guy when she was out here. Yeah, can't go back. So, 3 provisions. 3. That's it. Okay. So I know I have to build on the canal. So let's do that and see what awaits me in 42. Let me get my brick and wood before I forget, and we are on to the next spoiler. Okay. Thank goodness it's short. Another canal completed. Another band of rebels seen scouting the camps along the river. The floodwaters flow away from the essential lands and into streams and rivers, creating safe lands to farm and settle. It is my hope that these men and women will see the restoration of this land and come to help complete this righteous work. In later seasons, we will need to create more canals to take the flood all the way to the sea, where it finally rests. But today, we will celebrate the work of our hands. File the constructed canal card in the history. I guess I should know that's just going to happen. Find card 46 in the story deck and place it face down on top of the barbarian draw pile. Well, that sounds like it's going to be terrible since I did not just have to trash a card. So 46, I don't really look at it other than it looked like had some multicolor worker things. Face down. Let's see what you do to me. Okay. So, I did that. Now, where I was thinking about building this, I'm still thinking about building this. I know. I just could build this. Let's think about our pros and cons here. At the end of the game is when I'm going to be the most worker starved. Now, this does slightly help with that, but let's do let's turn this in for a red real quick and go defeat this barbarian. I've heard this one. Hey, what's up, Shelby? Glad you stopped by. Not sure if you know anything about this. I know Joe typically leaves all the Garfield games for me to get. But yeah, this is a really good one. It's solo only, so maybe you get it for you. And tell Joe you got your own little game. Okay, so I'm going to I spent the 2 provisions, right? I just throw them in there and then start talking to Shelby. So yeah, Paul will correct me, but I'm very positive I did. I'm going to defeat this barbarian here and get my 3 shells. 3. And the worst part of this is these guys want brick instead of wood. which makes me half tempted to almost defeat this one instead. Pay an extra provision. I think I might do that actually. I'm going to take back that yellow worker. No, we're going to keep it. I don't want to pay the extra provision. Actually, you know what? I do. I'm sorry. Take back those, and instead we'll turn this red, and I will spend an extra provision to defeat this one. I already got my shells. This way I can bribe off this guy and only have to worry about one. Yeah, we're going to do that because I am going to build this. So let's just go ahead and turn these guys in. That's 2 wood, a provision, and a shell. Wood, provision, and a shell. Yeah, I like it. And then what else do I need to do? Building here. So this and this. Or do I build? No, we're doing it. We're doing what I want to do. So build that, and that, and we're going to build this guy here. And do I take the black worker? I know I'm going to have 2 red workers in my last 2 cards, or 3 cards. I have 1 black worker in the deck. If I recruit this, I might just take another blue. I'm going to gamble on needing another. I have 2 black, and I'll recruit a black. I'm going to gamble on needing another blue, which we'll go ahead and get with the provision. And then let's just recruit our people. So these 2 for that, and then I think I'll spend 4 shells and go ahead and recruit this one. Yeah, because next turn I'm going to do this. It will give me enough to then build one of these. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend 4 shells. That would be 2 provisions, which would be enough to recruit this card here. Okay, and I think that is pretty much all that I can do. Yeah. All right, let's suffer. Yeah, I'm all right suffering attacks. I'm going to bribe off this one. I'm going to take an attack here. You know what? I'm going to have done that, but what I really should have done is not paid for here and just bought a brick. Because, so I took a card to then lose a card. It really just cost me an extra shell. Anyway, in hindsight. Alright, so there's my attacks. So this time, I am now drawing 2 barbarian cards. I know I got my lady there. Interesting. Well, I'm 100% going to have to defeat her because that looks like a pain. But it lets you draw. Okay. All right, let's get my income here. So 4 cards. So we're going to go 1, 2, and shuffle. I should have returned the bark. I do need to be thinking about doing this, because I don't really want to have to deal with this during my final rounds of the game. So, of course, I need the red worker, so that's not really the lady I want to sacrifice right now. Okay, so this and this, I shuffled, that goes there. Okay, I like this. So, drew that. I'm going to get my 2 white workers. I'm going to get my 3 shells. 2, 3. I'm going to get my 3 provisions. 3. Worker of my choice. Doesn't really matter because this is what I'm going to be defeating. I want to try and defeat 2, so maybe a black. And I did not grab a worker when I placed here. No, I did. That was the extra blue. Okay. Let's see. So what am I building this turn? I'm spending 3 white workers. That. I'm going to have... This would be a way of getting my black. I won't have the white workers for it. What do I need? What do I need? I don't want to get red. My deck is... I actually thought I had another red in the deck, now that I think about that. No, you know what? No, let's think about this. On this, I have wood. I'm going to defeat this one, so I have the red. So really, I don't think color matters too much. I'm going to get black. And that was for that. Okay. So first thing I want to do is build on the canal. Put it there. Okay. Now, this is going to get my white worker. Oh, and I'm sorry. I built on the canal. I should have gotten my brick, my wood, and destroyed 2 cards. First 2 story events made me forget about needing to do that. Can't sacrifice you for the milk just yet. Let's think about how to do this. I should do this first because it's going to let me draw a card. These 2 are going to go up here, plus the red I have here. So we're going to do a black. What did I lose? I lost a yellow. We're going to do a black, no, we're going to do the 2 blue. I'm just going to get a worker. Red's fine. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So I'm going to spend 3 provisions. A blue, and a black. And defeat this one. Which looks like it permanently stays in the Barbarian deck, which is interesting. If that one comes out early, that is quite terrible. But it lets me draw a card to my hand from the top of the deck. There's going to be another white worker. So, I know I'm for sure going to use that one here. Where am I building? I know I'm not dismissing this one. Yeah, I know I'm not dismissing this one. So that's going to be my red worker. I'm at this point, I'm trying to think what I want to build. Right, so I could build one of these. It's going to get me more shells, more income. Really, I could build this. You know what? I'm not going to... Yeah, I'm not going to build that because I'm going to use this for the bribe instead. Yeah. So, I'm definitely going to build one of these. Yeah, because I don't need another provision. And this, although it frees up income space, yeah. It's less impactful of a space that goes to. Hold on, let me think about this. The only thing it would let me do was tuck a card. And I would definitely tuck this. Is it worth tucking that? So if I go that route, I might end up with a lot of wood. A lot of wood I can't do much with. Yeah, I think I'm not going to do that. Yeah, we're going to just get the wood. We're going to get the wood. We're going to build 3 wood. There's a brick. 3 wood and a laborer. And I think, golly, do I take... My deck has no blue guys. I think maybe actually 1 now. But I'm going to need more black than anything here in a second. No, we'll make do with our black situation. I'm going to do the blue. Get a provision. Okay, let's go ahead and pay 2 shell. No. Put the black worker here to get a provision. Pay the 2 provisions. 3 archers and a fighter for this. To get 3 shells. 3. Man, why can't I have the milk people? I could do without using these this turn. And that, unfortunately, is about it. Yeah. So, let's just get my white laborer and my brick. And let's suffer our... Oh, no, hang on. Let's buy our cards. So that one is free. That would be 1 provision. This would be a 2nd provision. And put those guys there. Okay, now we're going to suffer our tax. We'll pay the bribe here. Take the attack there. and we refill the row. Oh, return the barge. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. Okay, let's get our income here. Tough rounds, yeah. And definitely tough rounds coming up. Okay, got that. Let's get our laborers, which is 2. Get our provisions, which is still 3. Or I mean our shells, but also 3 provisions. And actually, I'm sorry, it is 4 shells now because I have one of these opened up. I think outpost. Is that what they are? Paul, are they outposts? I've been just calling on buildings this whole time, but I think that's exactly what they are, is outpost. Okay. So, Joe Black worker card. That's great. Do not have a yellow or a red worker, so this is going to have to be one of those. So, I'm not going to build on the canal just yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, that's terrible. So I have one more turn I can go without building. No, I can go a few more turns because this has to catch me. I have only shuffled twice. Paul would have corrected me if I was wrong, but I'm very sure I will. So I can actually go quite a bit. And this is an interesting part at the game. After you reveal this one, you will be having 3 barbarians a turn, and you can almost certainly not outproduce that. But you can kind of hold off 2 barbarians and either stay even or come out a little bit positive, right? So like right now I have a decent amount of supplies, and really the idea is I would like to be able to, when I build this, also build out 2 buildings. So I kind of want to get to that spot. So I actually think this is probably a good turn to do the milk, as I don't think I'm going to necessarily have to have this wood for anything. I definitely don't need it right now. So yeah, I think I'm going to do the milk there. I don't think I'm going to take 2. I'm also at an interesting part where when you stay at this spot, you can kind of freely buy or you destroy cards. This one I know I'm just going to take a shell and a provision. And then let's go ahead and spin the 2 provisions. And defeat this one. So there's the 2, what are those, riders and an archer. Get 2 more shells. And a brick. Okay. Now I have to think about how I want to spin my shells. I know I need 2 more provisions here. So I know I'm going to need 2 more provisions. So I'm going to go ahead and spin 4 to get 2 more provisions. Because again, resources are limited. So yeah, let's do that. And then I'm going to use this to get a red worker. Or I mean a red person. I'm really debating, do I just go ahead and get the 2? Or get the 1? I think I'm going to just get the 1. What it means is I will have to turn use this to turn one of these guys into a black. And I'm coming out ahead on cards, but I'm not coming out ahead on workers. You know what? No, we're not gonna. We are gonna go ahead and discard this to get 2 black. And I will spend the 2 provisions, the 2 riders and fighter, to defeat this one, getting the shell. And unfortunately, drawing a card, which is not always my favorite thing. Ironic that I got the black that I was mulling over. Okay, so I've done all I care to do for barbarians. Now let's do our recruiting. Slight misplay in that I spent 2 on a provision when I should have just gone here to get it, but I'll always use it next turn. Now I'm going to take the white and the black. And this is where I'm at. So I am going to buy a wood, because otherwise during my income I would need 4, and there's only 3 here. So I'm going to buy a wood that I'm solely going to be using for the bribe here. And that means I come out 2 cards ahead. You know what? Instead of taking the black worker, maybe I put it here. Let's do that. Hopefully this is a good reward for me doing all this. So instead of getting the black worker, I'm going to put that there. Now I only need to get meat. And as I said, I really want to do that before I really start advancing. Because once you build this and the 3 barbarians come, you really just have to keep going and knocking them out. So yeah, I think this is a good board state for me. So I'm going to suffer 1 attack, which I'm totally okay with because I recruited 3 people this turn. I'm going to bribe that one with the wood. Now, one thing I do need to somewhat keep in mind is 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm okay there. I do need to get some wood and some brick to be able to build once I do this, right? Because again, that's what I like to do, and unfortunately, I'm just generating provisions. And the thing with provisions are they are always nice, but they're the cheapest resource to buy, right? So every time I have to buy one of these, I'm paying an extra shell. So anyway, yeah, we're going to do that. I suffered my attack. I bribed. Let's move these guys here. Draw a couple new barbarians. Here is where I'm very glad I knew the deck had to be balanced and there was some blue. So I'm glad I made this decision here. Excuse me. get these out. And something else for me to keep in mind is next turn I can refill if I don't move. The turn after I cannot, so I will need to at least discard or take some attacks. So anyway, this is one of the best barbarians to leave out. I will probably almost certainly not kill him ever, even if I have to. I don't know, maybe I say ever, but probably won't. Him or one that is one provision are, because they're so cheap, they're just worth the bribes. Okay, let's get my hand here. 4 cards. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, here's a bunch of workers, so this is a good spot to be in. I don't have any meat, so not advancing that all the way. Let's move these guys back. Let's get my 2 laborers. Get my 3 shells. 1, 2, 3, and then get my 3 provisions. 1, 2, 3. Excuse me, 4 shells because of the outpost. And then blue doesn't seem to be too much of a problem, but yellow probably will be. Yellow. So we're going to do yellow. Okay. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and use this red. I'm going to use that red to get another yellow. How many shells I got in there? 2. So let's go ahead and spin the 2 provisions. And then I'm going to use 2 archers. And now I can use a laborer to do this one. I'll take those last 2 shells out. Get a wood. I don't want to draw another card. That is for sure. So you're just going to be a black worker. And then I guess I might as well go ahead and defeat him. In which case, let's get my provision here. Let's buy a provision. Buy a provision. I need to spend 3 more. Or actually just 1 more. Guess I didn't technically need to buy a provision. Again, messed up. That's okay. Provision and a shell. And then let's get these 3 shells. I think my deck mostly has wood over. Well, I must have lost or sacrificed. Yeah, there's wood. I'm probably going to want to build this. So let's get a brick. Okay. Did I pay it? Yeah, I paid it. Okay. Now let's go ahead and pay my provisions using 2 laborers as the spearman and a rider to defeat this. Take 1, 2, 3. Let's spend the 2 provisions and recruit out these guys. Again, I can fill this next turn. It's going to give me this. Total, if I build these 2 buildings, I need 4 wood for pretty sure I'm going to take the attack here. Let's get a wood. Let's get a wood, and we're going to kind of set up for one more round of getting all the resources I need, and then, whoops, just kind of start pushing. Yeah. So, last card just takes a blue. Okay, and I haven't really kept track, but I'm pretty sure that I'm up on workers and resources. So that's why this spot is pretty good, because as long as, yes, 4 shells. 4 shells. Sorry, Paul, I wasn't paying attention to chat. I don't even remember what you said 4 shells for. But anyway, this is why I personally believe if you can sit at this spot and just build your resources, you're going to need a lot of workers, a lot of things for these final couple rounds once they start coming, once 3 barbarians start coming. And you actually, because of, you're going to get a 3rd barbarian here and a 4th barbarian here. When you build this 4th one, you will have to have the barbarians push back to this point here. You did it during the harvest. Oh, yes, yeah. But yeah, so you will actually have to have the barbarians push back to this point here. So I can tell you it's easier to manage now than it will be when you get to this last round. You have to spend a lot of workers here, and pretty much you're going to have to defeat, odds are barbarians are to this point. They may be to this point, but even at this point, you have to have 9 workers plus the 4 here, right? So you're going to have a total of 13 workers minimum just to do what you need to do those final rounds. So I like to just kind of sit here. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, I got enough shells to make my income. So let's do it. Moving the barge, suffering attacks. I think I'm going to go ahead and not bribe this one. And do that. I know I have a lot of shells. I'm sitting in max shells. Actually, you know what? I take it back. No, I'm going to do it. I just want to have what I need to have. Okay, and then I will bribe this one because it's just 2 shells. Move these guys here. Barbarian. Ooh, and there's a story barbarian. Looks like a normal barbarian, so hopefully the story doesn't just wreck me, but we will see. Gonna go here. And then let's get my income. So I do have to shuffle now. And because I don't want to make this super long and drawn out and boring, I could honestly sit at this spot for a very long time. I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Odds are I sacrificed a couple, but probably at least still 3 or 4 rounds worth. But I'm going to get to a point I think I'm comfortable and push the rest of the way. Plus I need to do my meat really before I do that. But yeah, so I was drawing, moving that, draw, workers, did not get the resources, but that is all right, and that is going to need shuffled. And there's a meat guy. Don't necessarily need the white worker this round, so that's probably going to go there. Let's get the rest of this stuff. Get my 2 white workers. Get my 4 shells. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Paul, since you're the only one actively in the chat, or at least talking right now, does it kill you to see me draw the game out like this? I can imagine that you're just like, I want to finish the game. Whereas I'm the type of person that I like to make sure that I can really crush the game. Anyway, got my 4 things, got my provisions. What am I going to do? Let's see. Oh, I need a worker from here. Not make Paul's mistake. Oh, man. Do I take a red? I take a red. 2 shells and a brick. That gets that. This is going to make me draw a card. Man, I really hate giving up workers. But I don't know that I want to pay the extra provision. I have just enough. I don't think I'm going to need this white worker. So, first thing I'm going to do is give my third little spoiler warning. I am going to read Storybook 13. It seems like you've got a hand on things right now. Recruited a ton early. Yeah, exactly. I mean, my deck had roughly 20 cards, 24 cards in it. That really does help, right? I don't have to worry about the flood pushing me along. Paul, since you said you didn't read this one earlier, just so you can turn it down a bit, I'm going to read this story for finishing this here. Our foragers have done well. We have endured with simple ration food, saving whatever we can for the leaner times. We are starting to see the food store fill once again. It is meager, but the workers are impressed. Work has been hard in recent days, and a full stomach goes a long way to keep a man going. I have, however, been meditating on the events that led to this situation we now find ourselves in. Before the fire, we had been beset by storms and rain, not hospitable conditions for fire to swell. For now, there is still food to gather and store. A few extra stores of grain is not enough to see us through the winter. I will need to talk to those who were here in camp when the fire broke out. Or perhaps I should start looking for the monkeys in the river. File this in the history. And place the townsfolk card here into the townsfolk discard pile, which I'm pretty sure is here and not my discard pile. Doesn't. Ooh, I think that's it. Yeah, that's definitely it. Find 21 and file it in the box under other setup for future games. Okay. So we're just going to not peek at it. Oops, that was there. Other setup. Perfect. Yeah. As with previous food shortage card, this new one will also need to be completed. Oh my goodness, are you serious? And will remain in play until you complete it. This food shortage card rewards 1 cowrie shell after placing the second townsfolk card. Interesting. Okay. Not what I was expecting. Is what it is, right? Can't do anything about it. Definitely not what I was expecting. Okay. So this means I don't have to sacrifice as much. This is a pretty awesome setup here. So let's start off with... I should have taken a yellow worker, shouldn't I? Instead of a red. That's alright. Let's put this here. Get a yellow. And then I have that, so let's spin the 2 provisions. Blue, white, yellow. Get a shell and draw a card. Red. Red. You know what? We're in a good spot. We're actually in a really good spot. Because these are now giving me the resources I need to then build out these 2 next turn. So I think I'm going to do it next turn. So let's go ahead and get a provision here. And then let's just get the workers. Don't need to sacrifice anything, so I'm going to get a red, a blue, white, and yellow. That goes there. Man, I would really like to defeat that one. Something bad could happen too. No, let's not. Let's just, you know what? Let's spend a couple to get a provision. Yeah. And now spend 2 to defeat this one. Get those 2 provisions back. 2 and a brick. I'm going to spend those 2 provisions. And take these 3 cards into my deck. Yeah. So what I got? I got 1. Let's just buy a provision. Okay. That's it. So for our attacks, we'll spend 2. We'll go ahead and trash a card. I don't want to lose a worker. Move here. This one and this one. Alright, shuffle this up. Okay, let's get my income. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to try and speed things along here. 2 white laborers. And 4 shells. 4. 3 provisions. 3. And that's it. Okay. My only thing. Oh, not that's it. I need this, which needs to be a red. So my deck is in a good spot. I actually, these should be coming back. I'm going to defeat this one first, so I know what happens there. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I assume it wouldn't give more than. I'm gonna take a provision. I assume it wouldn't give more than 2 shells, but in case it does, I want to have a full set of 3 there. Yeah, so spin the 2. I think I hadn't spent those. Spin the 2 red and a black, and we are going to storybook 12. I don't know why I said that there. This almost certainly is getting into history. I don't think you got your colored worker here. Yeah, you might have said that before I looked, but I went back and got a... Maybe I didn't. Oh, wait, no, I did. I got a black just now. That's how I did it. Yeah, I definitely did because I got a black. Yeah, 100%. It's the only way I would have gotten a black. So I did get my colored worker from that. Okay. 13 and 12. It is a day like this that make me yearn for home. There are still our people, who do not see. They cannot see that the work that we are doing is all of the empire. I only see a chance to take. My heart bleeds for them and their ignorance, just as my men bleed for our work to carry on. We push back to our strong foe, but the cost of our own warriors is high. My thoughts will be with the rest of my warriors tonight as they remember the fallen. File this feed in the history. Okay. Take 2 damage. And gain 3 calorie shells. Man, I am so glad I had the foresight to buy a provision ahead of time. Yeah, so that is that. Okay. Now what? Might wait one more turn. It's my workers that is going to be my issue because I don't really have this big worker income. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. But I'm going to have to lose one. So yeah, I'm going to wait one more and then make my push. So just going to gain a provision. And unfortunately, I hate doing it so much, but I'm going to turn this in here to get a red worker. And then I'm good on the resources. And again, go ahead and gain another provision. Yeah. I'm debating whether, like, they cost the same, right? This one's just so easy to bribe. I'm going to do it. I'm going to kill this one. Excuse me. Defeat that one. Yeah, I'm going to defeat that one. So, 3 provisions, 2 white workers, and a red worker. And a shell, and a white worker. Now I'm a bit torn. I could defeat this one too, and it would put me in a spot where I've held back the barbarians. It's kind of the best thing to do, really. Let me gain my 2 provisions. Let me gain my red worker. Gain the yellow worker. This I could just get 2 coins. I'm also half tempted to dismiss it for the white worker. My deck's in a really good spot. I think I'm okay doing that. In fact, I think I might dismiss this one for the extra card. I'm going to do that. That was not the extra card I wanted by any means. I'm going to dismiss this for the brick and the white worker. Really, I was debating discarding it for 2 shells. I'm going to do it with this one. I'm going to now have way too much brick. That's right. 2 shells for provision. I'm going to dismiss this for 2 shells. And then I'm going to spend a provision and a worker to... No, I don't have to do that. I have a red worker. My great organization skills there. Is this game better solo or 2-player? I don't know, Joe. Me and you could play this 2-player and just talk about what to do, right? But yes, it is solo only. And sorry, I'm engrossed in the game, so I'm not thinking about looking at chat like I should be. I need to spend... let's just preemptively get a provision. And then I'm going to spend these 2 provisions. 2 white workers and red workers to defeat this. Get 2 shells and wood. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, good spot to be in. I have my extra brick for the bribe. The only thing I may want to do, I'm going to have to buy something. I'm going to spend 4. Oh, I'm going to spend 4 for 2 provisions. Because I'm about to spend provisions and gain these 3 cards. So I'll just spend those 2 provisions. And end this here. Yeah, I think, talking about solo only, I think Garfield does such a good job at all their solos for their games. They've really mastered the solo. And so this one isn't anything like their actual solo in their games because it is just straight solo. But they've done such a good job at making very good solo games. Okay, I'm in a pretty good position. Next turn, I am... Yep, for sure having to build and make my final push. Again, sorry that I let it drag out and I was in this phase for 30 minutes, but I like to be confident. Who knows what these final 2 things will do for me here. So let me first suffer my attacks. I'm going to bribe instead, and then let me refill the row. And so let's go here and look at that. Another barbarian, probably going to attack me or something like that. And he's a cheap one too. I could bribe him forever. Okay, that's that. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, we got here 4. Don't really have to worry about it because let's see. Okay, should be good. Okay, let's get my hand of 4. 4. Get my 2 white workers. Let's get my 4 shells. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get my 3 provisions. 2, 3. Okay. Now my colored worker. So this turn, I am for sure building one of these. So based off the board state, I think I'm going to make it black. So for my colored worker, I'm going to get a yellow. Okay. Okay. Man, more provisions and shells. God, even dismissing those guys. Not what I wanted to see this turn for sure. But that's alright. So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to build on the canal. Let's put that there and get a brick and a wood. Whoops. And 2 cards. Okay. Next up. And so now I have available this, which I think is a super powerful spot, especially because I've been actually keeping an upper limit of shells. Well, mostly because I haven't needed anything, but because I've known that this would be available. So then let's build. This one wants to be tucked for sure. Ooh, oops. So where do I tuck for the worker? I'll think about that here in a second. Actually, almost certainly tuck for the worker. Sadly, there's only one. Okay. Let's build this. Oh, pushed all my stuff down. Move it all over here. Paul's probably hating my organization. Alright, so that, 3 brick and a wood. We'll build this hut, get a red worker. And I read number 1. I've read a lot of story in this. The promised workers arrived this morning. Among them was a young man, skilled and honorable in his trade. He has settled into the camp and will be valuable in the work ahead. File the constructed hut there. Find number 10 and add it to your hand. Interesting. Very interesting. So this guy gives you 2 wood. Which is pretty cool because it'll make me be able to most likely build these spots. Okay, I'll think about that here in a second. I'm now going to build this one. So 3 wood. That and that. Does this change anything? The only thing about tucking this, I get a black worker. I'm about to get a black worker. Literally could be anything. Black makes the most sense for the current board state. So I'm going to go with black. Even though I'm kind of torn on that and thinking that may not be the best decision. Okay, so doing that. Yeah, we're doing that. What do we have here? We got 1 shell, so let's go ahead and defeat this one. Get the shell and the white worker. Last time this gave me shells. I'm going to spend 4 shells on a worker. Here. And then I'm going to defeat this one. Cost 3 provisions. And read number 22. I bet it goes here. I know, I have. I mean, I had 4 canal spots with this story, 2 barbarians, and 1 of these. So, yeah, I have gotten a ton of story. What number am I reading? 22. The cheers of victory will still ring in our ears when a hush fell over the battlefield. The fight appeared to be over, but then something stirred in the dust and blood. A brute of a man who had fought to overcome our forces, blood streaming down his side, was rising. Staggering to his feet, his sword still in his hand, he turned back toward our men, lifted his head, and tightened the grip on his hilt, ready for more. So I followed the defeated barbarian. Find card 36 and place it face up into the space where the barbarian was sitting. That's terrible. Thank goodness I was ahead on my barbarian count, but I bet this guy does something awful. What did I say? 36. Oh, no. No, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. So for those that are okay with spoilers, it's the same guy, all bloodied and beaten. Also making me glad that it shows black there. Okay. So I'm going to tuck black. Tuck that. How many do I have here? Good. I'm going to gain 3 provision, 3 shells. Oops, put those in the wrong spot. And those. 2, 3. Everything else is good. And then I guess just 2 wood. One, 2, 3. And now I get 5 shells. So let's spin 4 and then a worker. And let's just go through here. I'm going to need a yellow. Put this here to get a provision. Put this here. Brick, I think. Question mark. Yeah, let's do that. I'm really glad I went ahead and did an extra turn, laid back the barbarian. Yeah, let's do this. So recruit these 2 for this, and there's no reason not to spin 2 more for, you know what, hold on, let's think about this. So I'm going to shuffle 17. I'm losing 4. So 4. I hope to do 2 more turns. That's 8. 4 is 12. I think I'm going to dismiss. Yeah. I'm going to dismiss that one free. Shell. Pay these 2, dismiss these guys, get a black and a white, and then is it worth 2 provisions? That's really essentially this. So at that point it's probably better to have the card. Is it better to have the card? Oh, man. Yeah, let's I'm gonna trash cards there. You know what? Let's just do that. I won't take this guy. Yeah, we'll call it good. Let's set for attacks. that I will easily pay a provision. So that, let's bring this here, and then we're coming to here. And there's that. I gotta reshuffle this deck. And so as you can see, all of a sudden I'm now getting 5 barbarians. Went from, being manageable to now it is definitely not manageable, and keep your resources in order. So let's do this guy, this one. What I'm really hoping to not see is that tough chick that's in there. Also, I realized that he takes a bit less. That's kind of cool. Okay. So I need to for sure defeat 3 this turn, and then I will be good for next turn. So 3 and 3. So I now have to shuffle my deck. Bring these here, move the flood, bring the barge back. Okay, I'm drawing 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Workers, I'm alright with that. Okay, I am getting 2 labors. I am now getting 5 shells. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I get all 3 provisions. I will say the 3 provisions have paid off because I've not had to buy a ton. My black worker. And don't need black, don't need blue. Yellow? Got a yellow. Don't need another. Maybe need another. This also lets me do whatever. Let's pick up the yellow. Let's pick up the yellow. Okay. Well, let's defeat this one to see if this guy just keeps being resurrected from the dead. Yeah, let's do that before I do too much else. Let's call it y'all. Let's call it y'all. So, black and yellow. Yeah, do this one. Story card 32. A shout of triumph, cheers of victory. The enemy was falling back, their champion finally falling to our own brave fighters. We thought he would never go down again, but this time he wasn't getting back up. We made sure of it. File the defeated one. Gain a wood, a clay, and 2 shells. Ooh, I messed up. I did not prepare correctly. I only had 1 shell to gain. That's okay. It's okay. I'll manage, I'm sure. Okay, so there's that. Let's go ahead and do this. See what's happening there. So spend my 4 workers and 3 shells to do this. Trash 2 cards. Hang on, before I do that, I forgot to refill this row. Okay. Now those will go there. Number 44. Please don't be terrible. A commotion drew our attention over to the river today. Shouts and crashing sounds, doesn't sound good, bellowed from the forest. As we watched and listened, a resounding roar echoed and out through the valley. My people flinched back from the shore, even though we were across the surging waters. A second yell preceding a figure breaking from the tree line and running for the river. It was a short-lived attempt at escape. For moments later, the source of his dismay came crashing from the forest. A huge bear, blue and brown in the fading light, arrows protruding from its fur. The man was running as if spurred on by his ancestors, but the bear was faster. I am not sure what the barbarians did to anger the creature, but it was clearly unhappy about it. Once we are sure the animal is gone, we will send some men to bury what is left of the man. No one should be left like that. File the canal card. Find 54 and file it in the box under huts and canals. 54. Huts and canals is that one. Discard the leftmost barbarian from above the board if possible without gaining the reward. Ooh. Well, not much of an option. Wish I had known. I would have only one townsfolk. The third was where the barbarian was. Thank you, Paul. We're just going to burn that. Yeah. I wish I had known that was coming because, yeah, this is okay. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is still fine. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Something good came. I like that. Okay. Let's build yellow. I didn't get my wood and clay like I kind of expected I was getting. I don't really know which one. Do I dismiss? I'm pretty sure that at this point I do. Yeah. At this point I pretty much just dismiss everybody. No point not to. So I'm going to get a yellow and a provision. And then we'll defeat this one for 2 provisions. 2 yellow and a black. Get a shell. Draw a card. Shells I got 2 shells in there. So let's go ahead and I don't really need to dismiss this one. I don't need the I can use the wood. We'll dismiss it. No, I don't need the wood because I'm about to get a wood. So yeah, we'll just do that. To get a red worker, and let's dismiss this one. Get a white and a yellow. Let's go ahead and defeat this guy now. So 3 provisions. The white are my blue. The red. Get 2 shells and a wood. Probably want to tuck this one. Don't really need to draw another card, so I have to buy a worker. So I'm gonna buy a worker. And I think I have to buy 2 workers really, but anyway, let's build this hut. Let's build this. Red, or I'm going to do this, so we'll do yellow. Put it there. So that is going to cost this, this, and this. Get a blue worker back. Okay. Let's go ahead and spend. Got enough to do those. It'll be alright. Spin the blue worker. Oh, hang on. By 3. Oh, I do need a brick. I was going to get the brick here. So, let's see. I'll put this here, and I'm going to get a... Doesn't matter. Get a blue worker. Let's put that blue worker here to get a brick. Let's spend 3. Spend 3 to get another brick. And then I can build this. So blue, 3 brick, and a wood. Provision. That's gonna go there. Get a yellow. This gets a provision. This draws a card. And then all I gotta do is survive. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4. I don't really think I need the provision. They're cheap, so I'm going to use that. I don't really care to build on the last spot. So this is probably okay just being a yellow worker. This I will dismiss. Get a blue. Draw a card. 2 black workers. I'll dismiss that. For 2 black workers. And then I should be good. Add this guy to my deck. And I could dismiss one of these or both of these. 4. Actually, I'm going to dismiss both of them. Get a white. Spend the provision to get a black. Okay. That's good. I'm where I want to be for this final round here. Except for my attacks. And then refill the row. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I really just needed to defeat 2, and I am good to go. Yeah. So, I'll bring my barge back. Let's get all my resources. So start with my 4. Oh, I meant to tuck a card. Oh well. I screwed that up. That was the whole thing. I was gonna tuck, I think, this guy. I don't know. One of these guys. That's alright. Get these back. So I should have enough to do everything I need to do here. So let's just run through it real quick. Get my 2 white workers. Get my, 6 shells. Oh, I hope I spent the right amount. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect amount. Get my 3 provisions. 2, 3. And get my black worker. Okay, first things first, let's do this. 2 white, a blue, a red, Yeah. 2 white, a blue, and a red. Oh, this should be here. And 3 shells. Alright, just have to survive this round. Number 24. I've been waiting hours for my workers to return from finishing our most recent canal when a shout came up from the edge of the tents. The workers had returned, but they were bloodied and tired. Barbarians have been roaming nearer and nearer to our camp, scouting for ways they could hurt our efforts. It seems like they found what they were looking for. File that. Not too bad. Did I take my 2? I think I did. Paul, remind me, did I take my 2 damage? Yeah, because I did not sacrifice that guy. Otherwise, had to have. I think so. Anyway, 34. That goes into there for future games. Take 1 damage. I hope I did. I don't want to be cheating. I really just need to survive this round anyway, so I don't think it matters too much. Let me just defeat some people. So this one, I spend 2 provisions. Blues, whites, yellows, all the same. That, there, draw a card. And then here, 2 provisions, 2 black, and that needs to become a red. I also forgot to get my worker there, but that's okay. At this point, defeat that one, this, draw a card, and it doesn't matter. I can do this, and I can stop right there because I now have 1 through. I would suffer attacks, and I'm going to just bribe. And this. And that's it. Don't need to use the rest of my cards or anything. So I actually had a good round. Very good round. It wasn't too tight. I honestly had a lot of resources and stuff for the final round. Way too many provisions for the final round for sure. But yeah, would not have been bad at all. So I think that was good. Won the first game there. So I am going to take the first win card here, and we are going to read story 35. Oh, and it's long, and I can't pronounce it. Dearest Tashanshi, another year has passed, and once more I see the fruit of our labor. The floodwaters move ever closer to the sea, and more land is safe from the ravages. The people of this region will not find the next year easy, but surely it will feel that way given the trials of the past one. As I sit and watch the waters rushing in our canals, I feel great joy, but when I look to where they flow and the task ahead, I can only feel the pull of home. To see our radiant face and that of my children, that desire surges in me like the great floods I seek to tame. I will go on. There is word of more trouble further toward the coast. Excuse me. A great barbaric stronghold has been restored, and to continue our work downriver, it must be overcome. As distance tests a horse's strength, time reveals a person's character. File the revealed victory card. Find card 67 and file it in the box under other setup. This is the fortress card. 67. Okay. And one thing I would say that I really like for whoever is stuck it around this much, is they have this little like reference here that's going to tell you what card made you seek it, just to kind of guarantee that you're getting the correct card. For future games, place the fortress face up in the rightmost space above the board. So I'm assuming here. Place it in such a way that you still see the workers required to attack the fortress, as well as the damage bribe shown along the bottom. Barbarian cards will still move in and out of this space as they slide to the left, but the fortress card will never move. In this way, the most recently revealed barbarian card will always be inside the fortress. The fortress and the barbarian card in it space must be attacked simultaneously. You cannot attack the barbarian card unless you have destroyed the fortress, making this attack still only cost 3 provisions, not 6. In this example, it would cost a total of 3 provisions, 3 laborers, 2 riders, and 1 archer to both defeat the barbarian and destroy the fortress. Destroying the fortress is not required to win the game. Yeah, that is a pretty crazy card there. Very interesting. I'm really curious to see that one play out. Yeah, that's gonna really hurt the resource pool for sure. Every round, you're either destroying a card or a warrior. So, cool. That was the first game of Legacy of You. I'm honestly, man, I really enjoyed it. I appreciate anybody that stuck it through and watched it this long. I'll put that before I forget. Yeah, really do appreciate you watching. Paul, thank you for being in chat to talk to the people and to watch. Hopefully you enjoyed. I know you like playing this game, but hopefully you enjoyed watching me play this game and see the way that I like to play it. I know this was long, took a couple hours. I'm not going to apologize for that, because it's just the way that I like to play games, right? And it's about me, or it's about whoever having fun. And so, yeah, I know games go long for me because I like to think out my turns and stuff. It is what it is. I will consider streaming rest of the campaign. I don't know. It really kind of depends on my schedule. It's a bit hard because I have to not spend time with the wife when I do this. So it's a lot easier to just play in the living room while we're watching TV or something. But I will consider it for sure. Don't really have a set time or date of when the next one would be. But yeah, that is... let me get this so you can see for me. Yeah, so appreciate you watching. That's what I have. Thanks, as always, and we'll see you on the next one.